box of games and groceries. My name is Adam.
I'm Liz.
And I'm wearing an Eagles jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually...
You're also yelling.
I am yelling.
That hurts.
I'm so sorry, listeners. But welcome to episode 15, where we're going to talk about the big topic of the importance of the Life is Strange series. What we think of it, why it's important to us, and why it's important for the gaming community in general. Liz, you're going to have a lot of editing to do because I am the clipping king.
You clipped at saying I. That hurt.
Woohoo!
And this is why I'm waiting till we get home from all of our errands to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of going out in my errands pissy.
Sorry. So Liz, as I ask every single week, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't really have an anecdote for that one today.
Oh, rats bananas. We had a good youth group last night.
We did. I had a very good youth group last night. It was very successful, very hype. So hype that neither of us slept.
Yeah.
My not sleeping might have had to do with the fact that I had a coffee and then 2 lattes.
Yeah.
We went to Dunkin' yesterday after church, and I'm like, oh, let's get a latte so that we can stay awake for youth group. And I ordered a hot latte, but the guy made a iced latte, so then he had to remake it as a hot latte. And then he's like, I already made this. Do you want it? I'm just like, and in my social anxiety confusion, instead of just saying, oh no, one of you have it, I was just like, sure. And so me and Adam were stuck with this third latte, and we were supposed to split it, but somehow I ended up being the one that drank all of it, and then I didn't go to sleep till like 12:30.
Yeah.
12:45.
But it's just a really good youth group. Ever since I started in youth ministry, we've tripled the size. It's not about the numbers. It's really not. But it just gets really exciting when like more and more youth come. It's awesome. So we're good because of that.
Yeah.
But this week we are going to be skipping our table talk topics. It's like, oh no,
Oh yeah, it seems like people love that.
Well, I mean, people haven't said they hate it, so
That's true.
boom. But the only reason why we're going to skip table talk topics this week is because I feel like me and you have so much to say about the Life is Strange series that we're going to need more time just to talk about that alone. So we're just going to jump straight into the top 3 gaming news of the week. This has been kind of a crazy week. There's been a lot of news coming out. The Tokyo Game Show was just passed. None of our top 3 has anything to do with the Tokyo Game Show. But
there's been a lot going on in the gaming industry this week.
Yeah, just in this one week. Firstly, I feel like this is said in this week or maybe last week. What is our dog doing?
He's chewing on his antler.
Oh, okay. He just always gets in trouble, so I don't even know anymore. But
he's been naughty lately.
He has been. But yeah, so first things first, Sony announced the release of their own PlayStation Classic. So much like the NES and the SNES Classics when they came out, they released theirs. It's a tiny system. It comes with 2 controllers. It's complete with 2 controllers. And it comes with 20 games. And they announced 5 of them, which will be Final Fantasy VII, which is a banger. Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, Wild Arms. The only weird thing is that it doesn't come with an AC adapter, but it's powered with a micro USB cable. So like your phone charger almost.
And what's an AC adapter? I don't remember.
No, it's like the power source.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't come with that. It does not come with a power source.
But what's the charging cable for?
No,
to
like
give it power?
Yeah.
Okay, so then why do you care if there's an AC adapter?
No, it's just weird that they don't include it, Like
But do you need it?
To power up the system, yes.
Well, I thought you just said that
No, it's not the charge, it's to power the system up.
Okay, that's
like,
what I was asking.
No, it's like the power supply.
Okay, so what's the other cable that they are providing for?
Nothing. They have an HDMI cable to plug into your TV.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking.
Okay. It's the morning, people, so we're still waking up. It's all good. But no, like it doesn't come with a power source.
That's stupid.
It is stupid. But like I said, it's powered by a micro USB cable, so much like your phone charger.
Yeah.
But it's still stupid. Like I don't know why you wouldn't include that. Like
yeah.
I don't know like it does that bring?
What system doesn't include
Yeah,
the power source? Like that doesn't make sense.
the 3DS also didn't come out with a power source, which was also stupid. I mean, a charging cable, but that's stupid. I don't know why.
Stupid. I mean,
Um,
unless if you're going on the universal route,
Yeah,
like Android phones, like because a lot of things are powered that way now.
Yeah.
They all have the same cable. Like, what's one of the things that we have? Like our controllers.
Yeah.
We can charge with our charger. With
Exactly.
Our phone chargers. So I mean, if you're going that way, that's fine. But like,
yeah. We have the same charging cable for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
yeah. So I mean, I understand.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like for a gaming system, you expect it to have a power source. Whereas
Yeah.
for like a handheld gaming system, okay, I can accept that.
hmm
But like for a whole system that sits at your TV and gets plugged into the TV, like you kind of expect it to have the power cord with it.
You would think.
You'd think.
But that's not the question that I'm most wondering about. I mean, that is a question, but two questions pop into my head. First of all, will Xbox make one? Because and now here's the thing. I'm not stupid. I understand that I don't think Xbox will make one because of the power of backwards compatibility.
Yeah, whereas PlayStation doesn't really have that.
No, like they have PlayStation Now, but doesn't really. It's not
And
really
they do
like
a lot of remasters
Mhm.
for their new. Like I've been playing
a lot of
PS3
games. Yeah,
on my PS4 because they remastered them.
you
all to
just
play.
beat Heavy Rain, by the way.
I did,
Yeah.
and my guess was right.
Yeah.
And you made me question myself.
Well, I think you guessed it because the whole time you're playing, I'm like, wait for the twist, wait for the twist.
Yeah, and I was trying to get the least expected person. I'm just like, all right, well, Blake is too evil.
Well, that's not spoiler for anybody who didn't play it yet.
It's from the PS3.
Yeah, but you just played it, didn't you?
I just got a PlayStation.
People who still haven't played
I'm
it.
just saying, we
Yeah.
talked about. Anyway. I didn't
Anyways.
say anything.
Yeah, but the twist is really wild. But I did kind of spoil it because I hyped it up too much.
Yeah, so I was trying to expect the least likely person.
Yeah.
So.
So going back to the
Yeah.
PlayStation Classic, I don't think Xbox will make one for a couple of reasons. One, because they have backwards compatibility.
If anything, they would do it for the money or just for like the like.
I don't think they really
It's
care.
more for like the memories. Like
Yeah.
if they wanted to do something to help their gamers, like be like, oh yeah, when I was a kid. Because honestly, if they got that, if they had announced that instead of PlayStation, that would be your third gift for Christmas, and I'd be done with you for Christmas.
No, I would legitimately want an Xbox Classic because I would have the same feels as everybody else with this. Because I played video games in the NES era, but I really got into video games with the original Xbox.
And you didn't grow up with a PlayStation. Like, you used your friends' PlayStations, but you never had one, so you don't have those memories of coming home from school and playing or waiting for a game to come out. Or
those memories are on the Xbox.
Exactly.
When I had the original.
Exactly.
So if they made a tiny Xbox with Mech Assault, Jet Set Radio Future on it, that would be awesome. But because they're focusing not only on backwards compatibility with 360, but with original Xbox, and they're up-resing them to 4K.
Yeah.
Well, not up-resing to 4K, but you get what I mean. They're up-resing it on your Xbox One. That I don't really think that they want to. I don't think they care. I don't think that's the kind of resources they want to put their money into.
Yeah.
But the next question that comes in. So concluding, I don't think Xbox will come out with one. I don't think there's a chance.
Yeah.
If Nintendo and PlayStation came out with a handheld system and Xbox didn't, Xbox isn't going to follow this. And the other question is, are we tired of these systems yet? Like, you know what I mean? Like when the NES thing came out, I remember thinking like, oh man, that's really cool. And wasn't it also 100? It was like 100.
It was at a weirdly expensive price. Like it was
like 80.
It was just at that line where you're like, is it worth it? Because I know I bought your, what did I get you? The Genesis version?
Yeah.
I got you the little Genesis
for like
hookup for like $35.
Yeah.
From Bed Bath &
decent.
Beyond. Exactly. And it works just fine. And when you want to play an old game like those, you can get them. And you can play. Adam needs to update his Norton security subscription.
I don't need to because I use something else.
But like you can use it just fine. You can hook up your old Genesis or my old Genesis games to it if we ever get them back from my dad.
Yeah.
But you can hook, and it works just fine. It was only $35.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I don't remember where I was going with this.
Well, like, the thing I'm trying to ask with this question is that like these things are nice. These things are like cool to like replay, but like I feel like
they're not worth $100.
It's not even just what it's worth. It's actually it is because like we've lived this era, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had good memories with the NES, even if Xbox came out with this, and that's like my childhood memories.
Yeah. Would you pay $100 for it?
And that's the thing. It's just like I love Mech Assault. I love Jet Set Radio, but it's like I really want to relive it?
That's what I mean. Where it's a good Christmas present.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're gonna go out and buy yourself, but it's something that like your wife or your mom or something is gonna pass in the store and be like, you know, he really likes that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for another thing to give him.
Yeah, it's not.
I should get that for him. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, they had an Xbox One. I know you wouldn't buy it, and I would get it for you for Christmas.
Yeah. What I would love is remasters of these things because, like, reliving, like the Resident Evil 2 remaster, like that looks bananas. But I remember thinking when I played the Halo Master Chief Collection and I was just replaying Halo 2's campaign and some of the things were like redone, remade, like the Hive Mind or the Grave Mind. It looks so cool. You know, I want to relive it in that way where it's like, whoa, it looks better than ever rather than playing the game I played 10 years ago, you know? So I don't know. I just feel like, aren't we done with that era? Can we just move on? But at the same time, I still think there's a market for it. I still think there's a market for retro gaming.
Yeah.
But not as much as Nintendo and Sony makes it out to be.
Yeah.
And I think Xbox understands that, and that's why they'll never make one. That's why they're doing backwards compatibility, so that if you still have these games and you got rid of your Xbox long ago or it broke,
you can play them.
You can still play them.
Yeah.
But little side notes. So, and then I'll move on. Very tiny side note. My mom, whenever I got a new system, she would always give my old system away. I was so mad about this. Like,
I've heard this story 1,000, almost every Christmas, actually. I hear this story.
Well, here's the thing. This is before I knew about backwards compatibility. So when I got the 360 in 2006, she gave my original Xbox without asking me, even though I should have seen it coming.
Because she asked you to bring it with you.
Well, I was a stupid child, but she wrapped up she wrapped up my Xbox and she gave it to my uncle, and I was like, whoa, what? Like, and without asking me. And just to spite her, I gave all of my original Xbox games to a bunch of college guys. Like, hey, you play it. I don't want my uncle having it. You play it. And then Microsoft says like, hey, by the way, backwards compatibility. And I just dropped my jaw. I was like, oh my
That's okay.
God.
We're just slowly recollecting them.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They're focusing more on backwards compatibility, backwards compatibility that up-res to your 4K TV, than focusing on making a tiny console.
The only thing is that, like, I feel like, at least with you, when we have kids, you would want to play those original games on your original Xbox with your kid, like, saying, like, this is what I want. To do with my kids, you know.
I do. Like, I want my original Xbox.
You want yours. You don't want any other original Xbox.
No.
You want yours.
I want mine
back. So
the
only way I can get you an original Xbox is if I ask your uncle for it back. Yeah. If he even has it.
Uncle Frank, I want my Xbox back. Moving on. By the way, he did marry us. I should have been like, hey, as a wedding gift, give me my Xbox back.
He probably threw it out, honey.
Give me my Xbox.
He's moved so many times. I'm sure
he almost wanted me to trade my Xbox 360 to him. I was like, no, get your own. You're a grown man. Anyways, so moving on. So TellTale Games shuts down. Wow, I really transferred into that. It was like, moving on. TellTale Games, screw them. But yeah, this is shocking. So TellTale Games, the studios, shuts down out of nowhere.
In the middle of making things.
In the middle of making not only The Walking Dead, but Wolf Among Us 2. They just struck a deal with Netflix to make a Stranger Things game with a brand new engine.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, nobody saw this coming. Just people from Telltale tweeting out saying that like, oh, hey, I need a new job. Oh, I'm out of a job. And we're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Telltale puts out a statement. The voice actress for Clementine on Walking Dead says, even I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We know that there's 25 people still left at Telltale, supposedly finishing out Walking Dead, but we don't know exactly. So it's just
random.
It's just so weird. Not only that, but the employees were let go without severance. Like, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Like, that means you're really out of funds, that like you're broke, that you won't even give them severance. That's bullcrap.
Like, what happened?
And that's why, like, as I was writing this down, I almost didn't want to say this in the gaming news because even I didn't know all the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm looking at all the articles, watching some videos, everybody's kind of taken aback from this. The only thing I can say is that, like, back in June, the former CEO, Kevin Bruner, he sued Telltale for his push out. Like, he was a former CEO. And then I believe back in November, they pushed him off from CEO, but still kept him on the boards. And then later on, they pushed him out of the boards. They pushed him out of his company. And so he came back in June to sue them. I don't know.
So maybe he won.
Maybe he won, I guess. The other
or they had to buy him out so they didn't go to trial. I watch a lot of law shows, so I know these things.
So I don't know anything about that. And the other part is that they keep buying out different IPs. They bought out Batman. I think they bought the rights for Stranger Things. Like, they bought these IPs to make games for, and maybe they just didn't have enough money. It was just, it's so
very odd.
It was so sudden and odd, and
so yeah, maybe they just settled with the guy and they had to buy him out, and they lost all their money.
It's just really weird. Like I was never really a huge fan of Telltale. But I don't want to ever see people like lose their job. But that's the other part, is that maybe not enough people were buying these games. But
but what I do think is nice is that other companies are putting on Twitter, trying to connect with their friends at Telltale and say, hey, we have openings. Like, these people, even though they're not getting severance, the gaming community is really coming around them and saying, hey, you have a job here if you want one.
Yeah.
Like, we have open spaces. Just apply and you're good.
Which is awesome. Yeah. You know, that what tells you about the gaming community, is that we look out for each other. So if you know anybody at Telltale, you know some jobs. I can't remember the hashtag, but you can go on Twitter everywhere. You'll see the hashtag.
Yeah.
But it's just so odd, and I just hope for the best for these employees, especially without severance. They have families too.
Yeah, and that means, like, if they do get another job at other studios, they potentially will have to move.
Yeah.
Far.
My goodness. It's still a job, but still.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate to all of a sudden suddenly just lose your job, be like, all right, we'll go find another one.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, that's what EA does, but this isn't EA. This is Telltale.
But if that's something that EA does on a regular basis, then the people who work there know to be ready for it.
Exactly.
You know?
That's true. Last bit of news that we have, the number 3, is that, so I'm on the fence about this, but it looks pretty legitimate that the name for Elder Scrolls 6 possibly, quote unquote, leaked. It's supposedly as Redfall, which kind of ties into, you're taking a picture of our dog, aren't you?
Yes, I am. He looks cute. He's sleeping right over your shoulder.
If he knew how many pictures of him were on our phones, sleeping, just legitimately sleeping.
He would be creeped out.
Yeah. The Flash.
Well, your face was really dark.
Oh, yeah, true. But anyways, so.
That's actually a really cute picture.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a good profile picture.
Wow.
I'm going to put that on the video. If you want to see the picture I just took, watch the video.
So Elder Scrolls 6 supposedly leaked as Redfall. And this kind of ties into where it's going to be set, because everybody in the community is pretty much set that this is going to be set into Hammerfell. And this has to do with an event that has to with the Red Guards in Hammerfell. So it kind of ties in. But what makes it legitimate is that ZeniMax trademarked the name Redfall under the same lawyer, Ann K. Ford. So there is a lot of legitimacy to do with this. I don't know much more to say about it rather than it doesn't roll off the tongue like Skyrim does. But eventually, if they market it well...
I think Redfall does.
Redfall? Like, have you played Redfall yet?
Exactly.
Like Skyrim. Whew. Do you think it will be as big as Skyrim? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I remember when Skyrim came out, everyone wanted... I wasn't a gamer yet, but we had just started... That came out year 1 or year 2 of us dating. Because I remember I went to Black Friday with your mom and you and your mom for the first time. No, that must have been year 2 or 3 because you went to Virginia the first couple times. First couple years we were dating.
Yeah.
So we had gone to Black Friday. I remember when it came out, I thought for some reason that was a game you didn't want.
Oh, Skyrim? Well,
yeah.
it was a game I was skeptical.
Yeah, so maybe I was thinking you didn't want it, but I remember your mom got it for you for Christmas at Black Friday. And I remember like everyone wanted that. Like I remember it was on display shelves at Black Friday. Like it was a big deal. And I know Redfall's going to be a big deal because you guys have been waiting for it forever. Like this came out when I was in high school. So it's been a long time.
Skyrim came out when it reaches November, it will be 7 years old. It will be 7.
Okay, so it came out when we were dating for 2 years.
Yeah.
But exactly, you guys have been waiting for this for at least 7 years. You're gonna be waiting for it for at least another year. That's 8 years.
Oh, way more than just a year.
Well, I know, but like, so that's what I mean. Like 10 plus years, you guys have been waiting for Redfall. So I do think it's going to be big out of anticipation, unless if like gameplay comes out right before it comes out and it's like terrible, which I doubt. If it took them 10 years to make this game, it better not be terrible. Even I'll be pissed and I'm not even going to play it.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be big. I think it all depends. Yeah. It depends on how much time they put into it. I feel like this is a company and this is a game that they know they can't mess up.
Yeah,
because you guys have been waiting so long. So I feel like it'll be big just because you guys have been waiting so long.
And they've learned their lessons from Fallout 4 that they don't want to make a crap game, you know?
Exactly.
So I have high hopes for it, especially since Starfield is coming out before it, for sure. I think what we'll see from Starfield is what we'll see in Elder Scrolls 6.
Like the quality?
Like the quality. Like if it's going to be a new game engine, if there's no longer going to be using the creation engine.
Yeah.
Which
that, and you don't know, it could be on a completely different system at that point.
Oh,
actually,
it will be.
We're pretty sure we know.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about this before the podcast started, that with these rumors coming out, like the next generation coming out, like within the next year or two, it just feels like this generation of gaming just passed by way too quick. It's been 5 years since this generation started, so by the time it leaves, it'll be 7. But just feels like, I don't know, it feels like it passed by way too shortly. Yeah. I don't know, but that's just our opinion. You know, tweet at us at Gaming Groceries. But yeah, that does it with our gaming news. We have plenty of time to talk about.
That was only half the podcast because we skipped table talk topics.
Exactly. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like me and you have so much to talk about this topic. So before I introduce this, here at Gaming Groceries, if this is your first time listening to us, we don't only just present the gaming news. We like to ask questions. We like to bring gaming into the real world.
Just kind of talking about big topics and just kind of like talking about how it relates in our life and our opinions. Really, you're just tuning in to listen to our opinions. So
pretty much. I mean, the name Games and Groceries is just about like we buy groceries, but we also play games. Yeah,
we're adults who game, and that's part of our life.
Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious because the other day my sister
wrote
a Facebook thing saying, because there was an article saying that Fallout or Fortnite was like the cause of like
over 200 divorces.
Yeah. Like over,
gaming news number 4.
Yeah. But over a bunch of divorces and things. And she said, while I hate to defend video games.
I was like, get off.
I didn't even read the rest of what she said just because I'm just like, why? Like, one, I know your husband has an Xbox, so your husband plays video games. Yeah. I'm just like, calm down, get off your high horse. Nothing is wrong with video games.
Yeah. It's so dumb.
Like, her daughter has Harry Potter, diaper covers, cloth diaper covers.
What?
But she hates to defend video games.
She bought Harry Potter.
Yes, for her daughter who's not allowed to watch Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what's.
Yep. Let's not talk about that.
Anyways.
No one wants to hear me go on that rant.
Yeah, I feel like I'm learning more and more about you, like through a podcast, and I want to like learn more about this, but then it's off topic.
Maybe one day we'll just like go into the groceries part and just talk about our life. I think one day we should start a vlog because I really do think we're extremely entertaining in our regular day lives.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're very cute.
Oh yeah,
We're told that often.
yeah. Way to sound pretentious. Like we're told often we're so
We
adorable.
are. No, I don't even like. There are things that we do that I'm just like, oh yeah, that's just us. But people are like, you guys are so cute, and I'm just like, thanks. We've been like this for 9 years.
Boom. But yeah, that's what marriage is like, being cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, let's talk about our huge topic, which is why is the Life is Strange series so important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get into this, just a quick disclaimer. We understand that there's a lot of games like Life is Strange.
Yes.
There's a lot of games that try to touch the audience. There's a lot of games that try to present a social issue like anxiety. We understand that.
Yes.
But
We really like this one.
we really like Life is Strange, me and you together. It's one of the few games that we are like in agreement with.
Yes, and it's the game that got me into video games.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
it's a big deal.
So we just want to touch base on this particular game because while there are games that touch on certain topics, this game touched us the most, which sounds weird. But
Only when you point it out.
so before we start the topic, let's just get into personally why we like this Life is Strange series so much. And when I say the Life is Strange series, I'm talking about Life is Strange, Unfortunately Life is Strange Before the Storm, and I'm also putting Captain Spirit into this mix.
Yeah.
I won't be putting Life is Strange 2 just yet because
We don't know anything about
it's
it.
not out. Next week, we will be talking about Life is Strange 2, but
Yes, because it comes out this week.
I know.
You get to play it first, though.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a big week for me because I have the business meeting, like the annual business meeting on Wednesday. I have Life is Strange on Thursday. I'm preaching the sermon on Sunday.
You do have a long week.
It's a long week, but I need Life is Strange too. But let's get into that. So, Liz, let's start with you. Why is the Life is Strange games like important to you?
I really enjoyed them because they touch different topics. Like this one, like the very first one, they focused on like that relationship between best friends.
Yeah.
And then in both, I'm not gonna talk about Before the Storm because it's kind of on the same storyline.
Yeah.
But for Captain Spirit, it's focused on that abusive father-son relationship. Like and like you said, that touched you.
Yeah.
And then even this one, like we know the general topics. Like I like that they choose different topics and like they research them. They know exactly how they are because I connected more with the first season of Life is Strange because it reminded me a lot of me and my best friend. My best friend and I have been friends longer than we can remember. We met in Sunday school in the preschool class, and I think we've been best friends since. Like I remember the first day Elena came over my house. Like we were so excited.
Yeah.
Because I called my mom from church. I was like, can Elena come over after church? And she was like, sure. And I'm just like, Grandma, Elena's coming over.
Yeah.
I was so excited. And so I really enjoyed that.
So the connection between Chloe
and Max, because it reminded me so much of that closeness. And I remember the choices you would make, and I'm just like, no, that's not what female best friends would do.
Yeah, because let's differentiate male best friends and female best friends.
Yeah.
They're two different worlds.
Oh yes, they're two very different things. And you would make choices, or you would tell me like, why would you choose it? I'm like, because that's what she would do.
Like the final choice.
Yes.
Like I was just like, oh man, this is so hard.
I'm just like, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
She would choose that, and I think.
Oh well, let's before we move on, let's just put this out there. Spoilers ahead. If you have not played the Life is Strange games, spoilers ahead.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Spoilers from here on out.
Yes.
Okay, so final choice.
So the final choice of
Choosing a
Max,
town or
or Chloe, And I chose that she saves Chloe because I'm like, that's what she would do. I'm like, they are best friends. That's how they act. They put each other, like Adam knows. Elena is almost even with him. Sometimes she even comes before him.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
agree.
took Adam like a year into our marriage for him to realize that Elena is his second wife when she gets here. Like, and it's so funny because when Lane's here, we'll be like, oh, I love you. And Elena goes, I love you, Adam. Like, she makes him feel so awkward, and it's great. And I love her. Like, she was more excited for our wedding day than either of us were. And she's more excited for us to have kids than we are, I think. Like, this girl lives through me. But that's why I connect so much with the first episode, because it's just that pure best friendship where these two girls grew up together, and even after they've had all this time apart, they haven't talked, they've been mad at each other, they're still best friends. And even when Chloe gets on Mac's nerves for trashing her attitude and like not being a good friend, she still loves Chloe. She still wants to help Chloe. She still saves Chloe's life every day. You know, so like, that's why I love it. I love that best friendship, and that's also why I was kind of disappointed that the second season didn't continue the story.
I know.
I was so disappointed because I really, really wanted that. Like, when we saw Captain Spirit, I'm like, maybe that's like, it's like years later and it's Max's son.
It's Max's son?
Or something like that. Like, I just wanted something where or like maybe he runs away and he meets them, or like I wanted more.
Yeah, with the comic series coming out,
It's not the same. I don't like reading comics.
Well, no, I think that's only because they know that they're not continuing Max and Chloe. So is this kind of like the final farewell? And like, hey, almost like, hey, get over it. Here we are.
I know.
The story's done. So
it's so disappointing.
It is.
But yeah, that's why I connect with them, because I think that it was a good one to be first, because it didn't get into a deep topic. It was more of just like two best friends trying to save each other's lives.
There were some deep topics.
Well, yeah, there were deep topics, but it wasn't the main theme.
Yeah, it's more about...
It was the plot, but it wasn't the theme.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was just...
Like, their friendship was the main theme.
Yeah, like those decisions, a lot of my decisions came extremely natural to me because it was me and Elena.
Now, why didn't you connect with Before the Storm as much as you did with Life is Strange? Because you can argue that the same theme carries over to Before the Storm.
I think I didn't connect to Before the Storm as much because I didn't want Chloe to leave Max behind. I didn't want her to be as close with Rachel as she was with Max.
You wanted her to be closer with Max.
Exactly. So I didn't do the relationship stuff. Like, and yeah, they were friends, but I didn't like going extremely deep because I didn't want to forget Max.
Because you just connected
it's
so well.
It's like when you're little and you get really mad that your friend has another best friend.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that to Max.
But that's how you connected with it.
Yes.
That's why I came into it like, like very universal kind of mind, because I really didn't care.
Because you're not a female.
Because I'm not a female. In fact, most of my choices, you had to correct me on. I was like, no, Adam, this is how you talk to her. Like,
yeah, like Adam would make these decisions that would just piss them off. I'm just like, Adam, I'm like, you're gonna make her angry saying these things.
And sure enough. And here's the crazy part about Life is Strange is that, like, if you have the female mind, or if you're a very caring person, they research these characters so well that you can talk to them in the right way, how a girl would ask, like, or talk to another girl, and it actually works.
Yeah.
The biggest example I can give is when Kate Marsh, again, spoilers, when Kate Marsh is about to commit suicide and you have to talk her down from the building, and I'm about to make these choices, and Liz is like, no, you don't talk to her like that. You talk to her like this. And sure enough, if you talk to her in the way that Liz would talk to her, she gets off the roof. Yeah,
because I remember you were going to make almost the exact same decisions as PewDiePie did. And PewDiePie killed Kate.
Yeah.
So you were making those decisions. I'm like, Adam, no, like, you need to say this. I'm like, you need to say this. Because not only from someone with anxiety and depression, but as a female, I'm like, you need to be kind. You need to be patient. You can't just say, get off the ledge, dumbass. Like,
well, why not?
Like, you can't say that to her. You have to be like, I love you. I care about you. You're fat. Like, you have to remind her of these things. And like, Adam wasn't understanding, so he just did exactly what I told him. And sure enough, she lived.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Talking a little bit about why it touches me so much is that, the very first time I played Life is Strange was not playing it, but I watched PewDiePie play it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he was still like gaming and stuff. This is back in 2015. But I watched him play partially the first episode, and I remember thinking like, "Oh, this is just a lame game," and I stopped within 15 or 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, "Oh, it's just like a really shy, quirky girl, whatever. It's meh."
Yeah.
And then I leave. But then I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna finish the video. I'm just gonna see what it's all about. Whoo! Like as soon as he finishes the first episode, I was like, holy crap! That escalated
Mm-hmm.
quickly. Like the whole series just takes like a whole whirlwind. When all like you're just playing like a nice quirky girl who's into photography and she probably likes anime. I wouldn't be surprised if she like anime.
I don't think so.
I think she likes anime. I think Max Caulfield likes anime.
No.
Let the record be shown that Max Caulfield
No.
enjoys anime. But yeah, so you just like you're playing this like quirky girl in senior year of high school or freshman year of college.
We have no. She's not college. It's definitely high school.
It's definitely in high school. Okay, but
I think she's a senior.
yeah, she's 18 and
It
you're
took
just
us a while to figure that out.
and she's
though.
shy. But like where the first episode goes,
Yeah.
it just like I can't describe it with words. It just gets so crazy, and you're just so invested in the story where you want to go next. And the crazy part is that okay, I was just about to say that every episode is better than the other. Episode 2, I hate those freaking bottles. Like don't like. I love how in episode 5 where you're going through almost like the dream sequence.
That nightmare.
Yeah, that nightmare sequence where she's like, "Oh no, I have to gather bottles again." And to get one of the last photographs, you have to gather all the bottles. And she starts poking fun at episode 2.
Yeah, she's like, no more bottles.
No more bottles. Episode 2 is just
yeah, that was terrible. It took forever.
I will say, yeah, Life is Strange episode 2 wasn't my favorite because of the whole Chloe in the diner sequence, like what's in my pockets.
That was annoying.
So the pockets, the bottles. What happened at the end of episode 2? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
But then going into it, so after you get out of episode 2, luckily the first episode really catches you.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 is meh, but then episode 3, I want to say episode 3 ends on this crazy like Chloe or Max saves Chloe's dad. But with the price that her dad gifts her a truck in this alternate universe, and because her dad still lives, he gives her a truck. She goes out, she gets in a car accident and becomes a quadriplegic. Like she becomes totally disabled, and you have to live with the consequence where or Chloe is a quadriplegic, or I might be saying that wrong, but still, she's totally disabled, and you have to live with that consequence in that alternate universe, and you have to decide, oh my goodness, like going through episode 4 is just a nightmare, because then you have to make a decision. Chloe is just saying, hey, I'm costing my family a lot of money, just reliving, and I can't. I'm costing my parents a lot of money. I can't live through this. I'm slowly dying. Just pull the plug on me. And you have to decide.
Not pull the plug. Overdose.
Overdose. You're right. Right. Overdose her with Oxycontin? No.
Metamorphine.
Morphine. With morphine. So you just bump her morphine up to 11, basically, and you just overdose her, and she just falls asleep, basically. And you have to decide whether or not you want to like off your best friend.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh my god. And then at the end where like you're trying to reverse everything and you basically kill Chloe's dad in
all
the past.
All over again.
It's just like, oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Thank you. Thanks. Now I need to that's gonna be a big thing to edit.
Yeah. So I'm just reliving this universe, and it's just like it takes you so much through an emotional roller coaster, all 5 episodes.
I'm so excited for the new one.
And then we have Before the Storm.
It was a decent game. It just,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game, and I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I more was just angry at the bonus episode.
Yeah. So
that was so unnecessary and that was unnecessarily painful. Like, we did not need that. I did not need that in my life, and it just made me sad.
With a max tape recorder.
Yes, and it made me angry at Chloe for being angry with Max. Like,
because that wasn't her choice to
everyone
leave.
acts like this is Max's fault
Yeah.
for leaving. It's not. Max was like 13 years old. She does not get a choice on what day they leave or anything. She doesn't get a choice if they leave or when they leave.
Yeah.
She's lucky that they stayed for the funeral.
But
because they were supposed to leave the day after.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Like, it gets me so fired up that people get so mad at Max. Like, it's her fault they left that day.
It's all like, yeah. I think the farewell episode was probably the best out of the sort. It was a 3-episode run, and then you had this bonus episode. Now, keep in mind, this was made by Dice Studio, or not Dice. Oh my goodness, by Deck 9.
Yeah,
not by Dice. By Deck 9. So it was their first narrative game, and it wasn't even done by the same team. Like, I don't think it was done by Michael Coe. And they did their best they could.
They did a good job.
They did decent.
It just wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to continue the series.
It wasn't as big of an emotional roller coaster. It was still emotional at times.
Yes, they did get their twists very good.
Yeah, like when he found out, spoilers, when he found out Rachel's mom isn't really her mom, and her mom is actually like an adulteress with her dad, but it's not really an adulteress because it's actually her mom.
Yeah. It's very confusing. I still think that was one passionate goodbye kiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just saying. He's like, oh, it's just a goodbye kiss.
Oh, it's
like,
just a goodbye.
Dude, you were making out with this woman.
Like groped her in.
Yeah, like that was a passionate goodbye kiss, even for a high school sweetheart. Y'all been married for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
It's a passionate goodbye kiss for a married man.
It is. But, and then moving on to Captain Spirit very quickly, and I don't think we need to touch base on this because we have a whole podcast on it, episode 3, Captain Spirit and Why Lore Matters, so go check it out. But it is a good game. It's a good free game that's 2 hours long. It's so researched well that it connected with me because that was exactly the relationship me and my dad had. Yeah, where he was a good guy. He was a good father. He was just an alcoholic, and
like sometimes he just slipped.
Yeah, he slipped because he was drinking too much.
Yeah,
you know. It was like me and my dad to a T. You know?
Yeah, you got very not very emotional, but you got very connected with the story because of how on point they had it.
So much so that I was actually very upset that Life is Strange 2 isn't about Captain Spirit.
Where I was a little happy because I did not connect with him at all.
I will smack you with the pan. Got you. But I mean, the reason why these Life is Strange series are just so important is because, like, with these emotional roller coasters, whether or not these things are realistic, these are like real people, you know, like real life situations that are researched well, and they touch on real social issues that are almost undermined, like it's under the rug. Much like Kate Marsh, you know, comes up from a religious family. She's religious herself, but when something goes wrong, spoiler alert, why am I saying something goes wrong? When they took a video of her when she was roofied, basically. Yeah. They didn't really say what she was drugged with, but she was roofied, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and they caught her, like, drunkenly making out with a guy. Her family sees the video, her religious family, and they pretty much disown her, except for her dad. Her dad is very proud of her. But she gets all these things like
not for making out with the guy, for continuing with life and still sticking to it. You made it sound like he was proud of her for making out drunkenly.
Yeah. Hey, girl.
I don't think it was making out. I think she was dancing.
No. It was making out with Mackie on Nathan.
I thought it was like a video of her dancing.
It was her dancing and then making out with a kid.
Okay.
But
anyway.
But her dad was like, hey, keep going strong.
Like, I'm so proud of you for keeping your head up.
Yeah. But her family's like, God is judging you. We judge you. Like, pretty much disowning her. And the social issue that's so ignored when these young girls like grow up in religious families, they slip up in life and their family disowns them.
Yeah.
You know, like they become what Kate Marsh almost became. Like she became suicidal. You know.
Thinking that no one loved her anymore because she made a mistake. And in that type of relationship, I think it gets dangerous because not only does she think that her family thinks that way of her, that if her family thinks that way of her, she assumes that that's how God feels about her.
Yeah.
She thinks, oh, well, my family doesn't love me. My family's disappointed in me. God must hate me too. Like, no one loves me. Not even God loves me anymore.
And so she jumps. And I feel like this is a social issue that needs not to be ignored. Like, not just anxiety, but anxiety amongst religious girls, you know, religious boys too. But like, it doesn't just say like a blanket conversation, like depression, but it's a specific situation, a specific reason why she went down this path. You know, it goes into drug problems. It goes into, it goes into sexting. You know, it goes into pregnancies.
Yeah.
You know, where we find a pregnancy test in one of our friends' rooms, and she gets scared and. You know, it goes into all these real situations, real social issues, fatherlessness, stepfathers, how they enter the home, and it throws out the balance of the family, you know? Much like Captain Spirit. He's not just an alcoholic monster, but he's a loving father. But
a widower.
And a widower. And he still slips up. And that goes into point number 2, that these things are researched so well that they make an authentic representation. That these things aren't just a blanket conversation. Like, like I've been saying about Chris's father, Charles. You know, Charles isn't just this like, "Rah, get over here, son." He just beats him with a bat. But he has a heart.
Yeah. He loves his son. He wants what's best for his son. He wants his son to be a happy, healthy kid. Yeah.
But like, it's just researched so well that it's authentic and real. Like, they don't just the team over at don't just make a game. Like, they don't just make a character with a blanket situation. Yeah, they research every meticulous detail.
Not only that, but they put it in a country that they're not from. Yeah, and they do pretty well at the American life.
Exactly. It's just like it connects with you because it's authentic, and they make sure that you're
okay. Hi.
Oh no,
Floki has joined the crew.
But it makes sure
I'll cut my lips. Ugh. Okay, continue.
It makes sure that everybody who plays this game gets an authentic feel for everybody in this game. The other part is that I feel like these games, like Life is Strange, going into Life is Strange 2, they create conversation like we're doing right now. You know, it brings awareness to these social issues. You know, again, we understand that there's many other games that do the same thing, but Life is Strange just connects with you so well. You know,
it makes you really feel for your story, because a lot of time when I'm playing games, I'm just like, oh, it's just a video game. If he dies, it's not like it's a real person dying. Yeah. Whereas in this game, I actually care. Like, I want to save these people. I want to do this. I want to make that difference in the story.
Yeah. It's so much. Like, it's just, oh man. It's just, it makes you care so much, like you said. But like, it brings awareness to like what these types of people are. And because I'm connecting with these people, you know, with the ones that I know are true, it makes me feel like everybody who's in here is so authentically made out to be true that when I do this, I'm creating conversation for myself about like other teenage problems, other teenage social issues that I'm not aware of, you know, much like Victoria Chase, you know, she has a deeper story than just like the classroom bully.
That girl's got a lot of mental issues. She's got anxiety. She's a perfectionist, which doesn't sound like it's a mental disorder, but it is.
Because of her parents. Yeah. You know? Like, her parents are like, they own a gallery. Yeah. She knows what it's like to be in the game, and like, she has to be selfish.
They expect nothing but perfection from their daughter. Yeah. Especially when it comes to art.
It's just wild that, like, they put so much thought behind these games, you know? And I think the most important part about all of this, between these real people and real situations, the research that's behind this, that they make everybody so accessible and so relatable, and so uh, they put so much passion behind these characters. And not only does it create a conversation and
Mm-hmm.
awareness, but it's so highly accessible
Yeah.
that you don't have to be a pro gamer. This is why you got into video games to start with,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have to be like this pro gamer
Yeah,
to,
I was like, oh, there's a game that I don't have to be good at games to play.
and it creates your conversations.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, episode 1 is free.
Yeah.
Episode 1's free. And the other part is that like it's always on sale. Like the very first season of Life is Strange, it's always on sale for like $4.
Yeah.
All 5 episodes. It's accessible with price, it's accessible with gameplay, it's accessible because it relates to you.
Mm-hmm.
You get to understand people. It's games like these, not just the Life is Strange series, but most importantly, Life is Strange.
Yeah.
They're so important in the gaming industry, where we're always like in war games or RPGs, and these games are fine. Fallout 76.
Mm-hmm.
These games are fine, but we also need games like Life is Strange,
Mm-hmm.
where they create these opportunities that they go into gamers' lives
Yeah.
and say, hey, we know you're struggling,
Yeah.
and there's others out there that are struggling just like you.
Yeah.
Like, go help them.
And I think it also helps you people like or at least helps gamers talk about these issues and be able to talk to someone about them. So, because like imagine being a gamer and you're playing this game and you never talk to anyone with anxiety or depression, and now you have a little bit of what you can talk to them about.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, you have a little. I don't know if you could go up to somebody with depression. Like, I know what you're going through.
No,
I played Life is Strange.
no, but you
But you have
can
an
have a
understanding.
conversation with them, or at least you have an understanding of what they're going through. So when if they ever come to you saying like I'm going through something really bad right now, like oh like to be compassionate and not to push them off,
Yeah.
not to be like oh you're just overreacting. You can just be like, you know what, I'm really sorry you're going through that. If you need
Yeah.
anything, let me know. Like instead of just brushing them off, you know how to react to it.
Mm-hmm. Or, well. But
Stop recording.
I think it stopped recording. The camera, not the audio.
So weird.
Yeah. But and you get to know people like Chloe Price in Before the Storm, where she puts off this tough person attitudes because she doesn't trust anybody and she wants to push people away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you get to know people like Rachel, where she has perfectionist parents, but she wants to be free from that. You know,
Yeah.
you get to know these kinds of people and not become an expert, but I think you just start to understand as you play these games that
Yeah.
once you understand their deeper story, I hope you end up, after playing these games, I hope you end up understanding, like, just like these characters have a deeper story, like they have a further background, you end up saying like, hey, this person in my life annoys me, but much like Life is Strange has a deeper story, these kids have a deeper
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
You know, they have a deeper background.
Exactly.
They're not just one-off people,
Yeah.
you know? People are people, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, like, the Life is Strange series is just so immensely important to this industry because it just makes people
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Like, it creates compassion again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What are we at? We're at the 54-minute mark.
Yeah.
But just talking a little bit about Life is Strange 2, you know, we already made an episode about our theories of episode 2 or season 2. I mean, episode 11, I believe. Go check it out on our Anchor page or on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. Anyways, so I'm really excited for Life is Strange 2 just to see what more social issues they have to offer, you know, and how realistic it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I think part of what they're going to talk about is racial divisions, you know, because that's just revving up nowadays. That
Yeah.
it's all about how the oppression of different races, and I think that's going to be playing a huge part, you know, as they're traveling down to Mexico, and I'm sure once they get down to the border,
Yeah.
like that's going to be really crazy. I think that like how to raise your brother, and that's the other thing. Just like you, connected with female best friends. Now they're going with the guys, like how you deal with a younger brother.
I
You know?
think it'll still affect in a way of siblings.
Oh,
Like
siblings,
even
yeah.
though it's boys, it's still an older younger relationship, and as a middle child I can connect with both the older brother and the younger brother.
Yeah.
So I think that'll, and I think they're actually going to be reaching more people with this, because as before, like you said, it's really, it was just reaching female best friends.
Yeah.
Where with this, it's reaching boys, like brothers,
Yeah.
but it's also reaching siblings as a whole.
Yeah, like family oriented, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it'll reach you in a boy way, but I think there are still going to be conversations that you struggle with because you're an only child. Where, because even in the trailer or something, you were saying something. I'm like, no. I'm like, he wouldn't do that. I'm like, it's his little brother.
Yeah, I'm an only child, so I have no idea.
I think it was when, if anyone watched the trailer, spoilers, I guess, he has a choice of either defending his little brother or questioning his little brother.
Yeah.
And I said I would defend him. Like, that's his little brother. You can tell he cares about him.
Yeah.
Like, and you were like, no, I'm going to yell at him. And I'm like, no, I'm like, he's your little brother. And even though he's your annoying little brother, you defend that kid. Because my older sister we didn't have the best relationship, but she took care of me. Like, she would, we grew up in Philly going to public school. When we would walk through the school, like through the basketball court to get to the schoolyard, there'd be all these 8th graders like standing there cursing. Yeah. And here's my 5th grade sister covering my ears and walking me through. And I'm like, Jess, what are you doing? She's like, don't worry about it. And she just covered my ears. Like, even though she was annoyed with me all the time, she was protecting me and she wanted to take care of me. So I think you're going to struggle a little with that, but you'll connect with it on the male level.
But that's the thing. It's just going to be, I cannot wait. Not for just the gameplay, but just the story and like what social issues we have to offer and how real it's going to feel, you know, just like, now I know it's not going to be exactly like the first Life is Strange.
No.
Like, that's a lot to ask for.
But I think it's going to have that same emotional level, just in a different way.
I think the last thing I'll say about the Life is Strange series is that, like, these are just games. Not just games, but it's a game that wants to touch the player's heart.
Yeah.
But without sacrificing gameplay, exploration, and story. Just like how does the story make sense? Like, they have that balance between touching your heart, but at the same time not sacrificing the gameplay, and it's still interactive, and you still have places to explore. You can easily play this game for 200 hours, like if you really wanted to. And it doesn't sacrifice how much the story makes sense. Cringy dialogue, yes. But the story makes sense. And I live for that cringy dialogue. It's hella good. Oh, no. So I think that can wrap up this week's episode.
Yeah.
What are we at? Yeah. So just a reminder that next week, episode 16 of the Games and Groceries podcast, we are going to be talking about our thoughts on Life is Strange Season 2, Episode 1. Like, not the whole season. That would be awesome, though.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
We'll be big enough that we'll get advanced copies. That'd be awesome.
That
anyway.
But, yeah, that's the thing. We'll talk about what we thought about it. We'll play it multiple times. In fact, I was thinking about recording it on Saturday, but I feel like in the weekend we'll have more time.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what we decide.
We might not be able to wait until Saturday or until Monday. But we'll play it on Thursday, Friday, possibly Saturday again, Sunday, and come back Monday and we're going to just talk about what issues come up. So that's episode 16. That's going to be next week. Just to plug our social media accounts, follow us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries. I'm always on there interacting with other podcasters and just throwing up gaming news, throwing up what episodes you should listen to. Follow us on Instagram, search for Games and Groceries, all one word. We post behind the scenes. I post memes there. We just posted a skate video where I nailed a trick. You know,
No, you didn't.
Dang it. But yeah, follow us there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Games and Groceries Podcast. We post our video podcast, and you can see Liz's artwork. This week, she drew a doe from the Life is Strange. So
Yeah.
if you want to see,
and what I'm thinking of doing is not only post it, it'll probably be at the end of this podcast on the video.
Yeah.
Because our camera turns off at like the 50-minute mark for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's fine. So I usually plug in like a quick clip of the lead up to me doing the art, but maybe we'll start posting a whole separate video of it as well.
Yeah.
So that if people listen to the podcast but still want to see how the artwork is done,
yeah,
you can just watch the artwork. So look for that. Now the video does not show me doing the snow doe because it ran out of battery, but you can see everything that's underneath the snow doe because I went with an original concept that turned out scary. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's all we have.
But please follow us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, on Instagram Games and Groceries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. What are you listening to right now? We thank you for listening to this episode and all of our other episodes.
Of course.
Yes. But we thank you for listening to this week's episode. We will see you next week with our thoughts on Life is Strange Season 2, Episode 1.
Woohoo.
Thank you very much for listening. Have a great week.